Now that I'm born again, all of this Torah reading stuff about clean and unclean and ritual purity issues, none of that applies to me anymore, right? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah. Day number 1 of the Torah portion. It's actually a double Torah portion, Tazria, Metzora. First couple days at least, we're going to deal with Tazria. And this is in Vayikra, or Leviticus, chapter number 12, verse 1. And following verses which read, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, When a woman has conceived and has given birth to a male child, and she shall be unclean 7 days, as in the days of her monthly separation she is unclean. And on the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin is circumcised, and she remains in the blood of her cleansing 33 days. She does not touch whatever is set apart. She does not come into the set apart place until the days of her cleansing are completed. So that's 7 and 33, that's 40 days. But if she gives birth to a female child, then she shall be unclean for 2 weeks, as in her monthly separation, and she remains in the blood of her cleansing for 66 days, or a total of 80 days. And when the days of her cleansing are completed for a son or for a daughter, she brings to the priest a lamb a year old as an ascending offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove as a sin offering to the door of the tent of appointment. And he shall bring it before Yahweh and make atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the flow of her blood. And this is the Torah for her who has given birth to a male or a female. Now, again, this is concerning a degree of ritual purity. In the birth of a child, here in our westernized Greco-Roman culture, it's about the celebration of a baby. It's not just birth. We got a baby, is what the headlines will read. And it's about celebration. It's about flowers being sent to the mother. It's about baby showers and oohs and ahs, and everyone standing up in front of the viewing mirror or window and making over the baby and trying to figure out whether it looks like one or the other. And traditionally, the father will pass out cigars, maybe not so much anymore. And then when the mother fills up to it, then she and the baby, after a period of time, will make their first public appearances. Maybe it's to go to the grandparents' house or first worship service, etc. And then there's going to be a baby dedication service, or maybe it's a sprinkling or a christening, whatever the religion might be. And so it's all about this celebratory presentation of this new child, and especially with the first child, especially with the first grandchild. I can tell you from experience, it's a major, huge to-do to be done. The further you get into it, after several children have come along, or several grandchildren, it's still exciting and it's still a big to-do. But after a while, it's like that youngin', what's she up to? What's he doing now? And it's just trying to keep them from destroying themselves or anyone else that is around them. Life goes on. According to the Torah cycle of life, it's a different mindset. And again, the scriptures encourage us to have the mind of Messiah. Let's just point out that Yeshua's mind is not Greco-Roman. It's not of a Western culture. His mind is of a Hebraic nature. Now, you can argue however you want, but when we understand that the scriptures are written from a Hebraic mindset, worldview, and purview, if you will, then we also understand this is the way that we need to begin to reorient our minds and look at life differently. Culture still has a part to play, but as far as our way of filtering things and seeing things, We're being encouraged to look at life differently. The Torah life is more about the knowledge of ritual purity and impurity, understanding what things make us clean and what things make us unclean. This is not always a sin issue. Certainly, sin will make you ritually unclean. That's a given. But there are other life experiences that are just that. They're the experiences of life, and in a ritual sense, they make us unclean. Yah is asking us to become aware of these things and how that they affect us. And again, in the opening, sometimes we have the idea, well, in Messiah, none of this really matters. But it does matter. It does have a role to play. And the closer we come to the days of a temple being established for us, the more important these things are. So Yah says, observe my commands about what you eat, what things I have set apart, what things are common, what things are not to be touched, the way you work, the way you rest, the way you have intimacy with your spouse, the way you plant your fields, how you celebrate and what your feast days are, how you process the beginning of life and the ending of life and death. I have instructions, Yah is saying to us, about all of these things. Why is this important? Because this body, this flesh, is supposed to be a vehicle in which the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, not only resides, but manifests through us the likeness, the character, the name, the semblance of our Creator, as He is revealed in the face of our Messiah, Yeshua. So when we are conducting our affairs in public, the manner in which we do so either exemplifies Messiah or it glorifies our flesh. It can't be both. Yah is saying to us then that when a woman gives birth to a child, there needs to be the recognition of necessary processes. Obviously, her body needs time to heal. I recall when our first daughter was born that a nurse came in and was mashing on Laura, my wife's stomach, and complaining, well, things have not gone back in place yet. We need to do some certain procedures here. And Laura was complaining, no, that's not necessarily. Finally, a head nurse came in and Laura says, that woman is trying to conduct things this way, and I'm not happy about it. And the head nurse says, this child has just given birth. Give her some time. And again, it was a recognition she needs a healing process. Things have in her body to shift around and get back in place, and a process of returning back to a more state of normal was to be offered to her. The body has a time to heal. However, beyond the healing moments, there is the healing of the spirit. And therein, for a male child, it's 33 days. For a woman to give birth to a female child is 66. Why double? I'm glad you asked that question. Just a few seconds, let me see if I can answer that. Whenever a state of set apartness, a kedusha, has been removed, that is the purity of an innocent life, a child, when it's been removed, what takes place in its place is not a void or a vacuum, it's a tamayah. It is a sense of ritual impurity. There has to be a process of time to allow that holiness, that purity, to be restored. You don't just pray a quick prayer, snap your fingers, and boom, it's done. It takes a few moments. It takes a few days. And so the greater the kedusha, the greater the holiness that was displaced, the longer is required for it to be restored. A female baby is most like its mother, and a woman is most like the Creator in that they are givers of life. Therefore, Yah is not looking down on a female. He's exalting and saying she has a closer resemblance to set apartness than a male child. Think on these things, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.